going to enter a dimensionality of sight, sound, taste, or even mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. There's a signpost up ahead. Next stop, Jake Steve's. Hi, I'm Jakey Steve, or the long-haired freaky dude, and today I'm going to review the epic Grecian tragedy play, The Suppliant Maidens, by Aeschylus, translated into English verse by G.M. Cookson. All in all, it was pretty good as far as verse translations go, but I still prefer a good old prose translation. And because of its versy poeticness, this translation may be hard to understand. Very hard. So I strongly suggest to read this while you're awake, with your fullest attention. This is not something you read before going to sleep or in a noisy room. The best conditions are quiet, with a cup of coffee, and a dictionary, because there are a lot of crazy English words. But if you could get past all of this, there is actually a decent Greek tale to be told. Before proceeding, I may review a few spoilers, but only those that are necessary for rating this book, nothing that will be detrimental to your reading. So, what is it about? In a land in Egypt there are two twin brothers, Aegyptus and Danis. Aegyptus has 50 sons, and Danis has 50 daughters. Aegyptus wants his sons to marry his twin brother's daughters. Danis's daughters, the Danides, aren't keen on the idea. So they go to their father, who helps them to flee Egypt in a boat. They make it all the way to Argos, where the play then starts. The overall plot is for the Danides to pursue the king of the land, Pelasgus, to protect them from any attempts by the Egyptians to take and wed them. There is a decent story and some action. However, there is quite a bit of dialogue and God praising from the chorus. As a matter of fact, I'd say that takes up about 1/2 of the story, which is a bit much for even older Greek plays. So that did get a little annoying, but it was at least beautifully crafted. If you come to the end and feel shortchanged, that's because you were. This is part of an epic cycle, which means that it was accompanied by 2 other plays which continued the story. Unfortunately, those plays no longer exist, save a few minor fragments. From these fragments, however, we can determine the outcome of the Danides and the Egyptians, which is really an interesting story. So, once you read The Suppliant Maidens, I highly encourage you to look up those fragments. I really wish those stories would have survived, but oh well, they didn't. Now, before I read the first few lines or so of this play, so that you can determine whether or not this translation is for you, I'd just like to read a few quotes which I found interesting. Be thou the ally of justice and not law. And, my favorite one, thou hast my answer, not writ in folded tablets, nor yet sealed in any secret scroll, but overt, the plain speech of an unfettered tongue. It's beautiful. Beautiful poetry. Poetry? Huh, okay. Okay, so now I'm going to read the first few lines or so of this play. Argos, a hill rises in the foreground, and on the summit of it stands altars and statues of many gods. Enter the 50 Danides with their slave girls and Danis. Chorus. Zeus, the suppliant's god, be gracious to us. Pitifully behold us, for fugitives are we. Where the blown sand dunes silt the mouths of Nilus. There we took the highway of the blue, salt sea. There looked our last at the land of Zeus, her borders lapsed and lost in the Syrian marshes wild. Fleeing, not as outlaws banned for blood guilt, lest a people perish, but self-exiled. No way but this to escape abhorred embraces. Marriage rites unholy, that truly love shuns, better far lands and unfamiliar faces, than wedded and bedded with King Aegyptius' sons, as when hard pressed on the board a cautious player, this piece, or that from a threatened square withdraws. One moves seemed blessed into Daunus our father, counsel in chief and leader of our cause. One woe to suffer, and that the noblest sorrow, seeing we were compassed in on every hand, tarrying not with the fleeing ocean billow, to tie till our keel touched the Argive sand. Whence we boast ourselves sprung from the breath of Zeus's nostrils, and the touch of his procreant finger laid, for a dynasty's founding on a king's daughter, even the gnat-tormented heifer made. What land but this would offer us a haven? Where else the world o'er should we welcome find, having no arm but the suppliant's feeble weapons, bows from the woodland plucked with white wool twined. Yeah, okay. So, that is The Suppliant Maidens by Aeschylus. I am Jakey Steve, the long-haired freaky dude. This is a LZ production and a bibliophile production. And I hope you have a splendid day.